morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Indeed,
Did you get pumped up by our music?
I did. I did. I was not expecting that at all, but it was really good. Really
I
good.
know. We're trying to take office hours to the next level, man.
Damn, I'm gonna be jazzed up like the next time. Like I know I'm gonna have polka dots and everything coming in, very Rio de
Yeah,
Janeiro kind of vibe going on. I'm gonna completely do that like the next time.
I love it.
Completely.
How are you doing? How is India and Pune and everything?
India is good. We are opening back after the lockdown, but apparently there is some scare that's going on because of a
Mm,
Delta variant.
yeah,
But
yeah, we got that too.
I'm really happy about. I'm just so glad that everything's open up
Yeah.
because we can now go like we can go out for dinners and stuff, which used to not
That's
happen.
nice.
And I'm like tired of cooking at home and ordering out. And the worst thing is washing all those dishes after we are done.
I love that's such a dude thing to say. I love it. Um, well, I'm glad everything's good and you're getting back out there. I also ordered pizza twice this weekend because I didn't want to cook. But that's a side note. Um, and I'm so glad everyone's here joining us for office hours. As you know, we do this every month and we rotate between Adrian, I think he's over here, and Kartik. And we're just so glad that they take their time to join us and let us know about everything that's updated on our platform or even some tips and tricks that we don't know. So welcome. We're glad that you're here watching us either on YouTube or LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook. I think that's all. So we're so glad you're here. I am going to talk before we jump into our questions. I am going to talk about like 3 things. So
Mhm.
if you guys, as users of QuestionPro, if you love QuestionPro, it would be great if you could give us a review on G2 Crowd. It's kind of like the Yelp of survey software, and so we would really appreciate you guys going to just QuestionPro or G2.com QuestionPro and giving us a review. We're always looking for that, like sharing knowledge that you guys could give to other people as they're looking for survey software. So give us a shout. And then if you email me directly with a screenshot of your review, like thank you submission form, then I'll send you a gift card because I love reviews and I love giving away free stuff.
Okay, but I have a question. I have a question from the audience, which I'm pretty sure someone's asking. So we are streaming globally. Is there a regional limit to that? Do we have a regional kind of
No, there's no
limitation?
geocaching on it. We're streaming everywhere. If you
No.
like us on any of our channels, you'll get an alert.
And would they even get a reward? Like, let's say someone from South Africa comes in and gives us a really good thumbs up.
Yeah, because we use our community's reward system to
No way.
send
Tell me more about the community's reward system.
Tell me more about the community reward system. So we use our own platform to send our gift cards. And
Yeah.
I don't know, Dan you could actually probably say more about it. I just know that Naranjan is magic and sends the gift cards. Um,
No, absolutely,
so
absolutely. And Question Pro is actually one of those. I mean, we use our own software and platform to do everything instead of going out. So
yep.
there's a lot of stuff that we do. If you want to try it out, you can ask us, like, how do
You
you
can
do stuff? And we'll
also
tell you, and you can do it.
right? You can also ask us questions on like here on the discussion tab. If you have questions about the platform and you
Mhm.
don't come to us on chat, we actually have other, advocates or partners that answer questions here too on G2 Crowd, which is great. Next, we have a CX webinar series hosted by yours truly with Sally Donovan from one of our partners at Rove Marketing. She's going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about the theory of CX versus the execution of CX. So a customer experience program, wow, sounds lovely. Most people uh, don't really know how to execute it properly. And so, or execute it at all. They just like talking about it. And so, Sally is going to be joining us to show how she uses QuestionPro CX with her customers. And it's going to be really exciting. Her and I like jammed for an hour, even just planning this webinar. So it's going to be fun. I know.
Wow.
Adrian's like, I want to come. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah. Okay.
and then of course, while we love hanging out with you here on office hours, if you need to know what's coming up with the platform, what features are getting updated, what if your favorite feature isn't getting updated but you want it to, let us know by coming to this /updates page, and you'll be able to see all the different updates that are happening for each product line. And oh, see, they've all gotten updates lately. This is great. And you can really just dive into all the details of your favorite product and your favorite features and how they're getting updated on /updates. So
Absolutely. And if you are on one of our research license, communities license, advanced license, reach out to your account manager today. We are doing QBRs, we're doing business reviews. Reach out, say, hey man, where's my business review? And you're going to get a detailed deck about everything that QuestionPro has done in this quarter, is going to do in the next quarter, and everything that we have in pipeline for the rest of 2021.
man, we sound like real, like we sound like we know what we're doing, Adrian.
I know, right? 2 minutes before this call, you were like rambling about what's going to happen. But all right, cool. Good professional.
We can pull it together. Well, so thanks everyone again for joining us, and let's dive into our questions. One of our office hour loyalists, Tawanda Jackson, submitted her question today, and I love every time she jumps in here. And she asked, is there a way for a text field to trigger a response to the next question if the next question is a select one question type? Okay, hold on. Let me read that again. Is there a way for a text field to trigger a response to the next question if the next question is a select one question type? So is it going from one question type to another question type?
Okay, so Tawanda, thank you very much as usual. I love the questions that she asks. Amazing questions. But all right, so I think there are two takeaways that we can understand at least from the question itself. Now, the first one is obviously if I do give an input in my open-ended, and I'm bringing up my screen here, this is my own account, this is one of my own surveys that I use for a lot of demos, a lot of a lot of see-throughs, features, etc. So I've packed it up. Yes, I'm a big Coldplay fan, so I do a lot of Coldplay-based surveys. No, they are not endorsing this. No, they're not sponsoring this, but I wish they can. But anyways, we'll move on. Coming back to the text input. Now, the straightforward answer is if I have a text input question and I want to stream it or I want to direct it to a next question, if it is answered, then you can do it through the skip logic, right? You can just come in. The
Oh.
way of launching is now the way it works is it's a little tricky over here because we have one section up here and we have one section up down here. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if there is input, then use the first drop down, right? Jump to a question. If there is no input, then use a default. So that's kind of your two-way how you can move ahead in the survey. That's one part of what I understand from Tuanda, but I do know that Tuanda doesn't ask that simple questions. So I'm pretty sure there's a trick in there somewhere. So I'm going to assume that what Tuanda is asking is based on an open-ended input, can I auto-populate my next question? Now, the answer or the simple answer is no, we cannot do that as yet.
Yeah.
But we do have a workaround in QuestionPro. If you worked with us before, if you're inclined to work with us before, the one thing that we're really good at is understanding what you want and seeing if there is a way to do it. There is definitely a way to do it, but it takes quite a few steps. The first thing that you
Yeah.
would have to do is have the question and have the options that you want, and then use the default selected. So essentially what I'm doing is this question on the gender is always going to be default selected male. If I have multiple options that need that are needed, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn that into a checkbox so that I can have multiple default options selected. Once I've done this, the next thing I'm going to do is go into the logic for that question. And I'm going to use the input in the open ender as a logic to display my option. So that becomes my pre-selection. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
go in here, do a show hide options, select a criteria, like give it a name, text input. Okay. And you see text input, you can use any of the operators that you think would best match, because again, text input means that there can be typo issues, there can be grammatical problems, there can be spelling issues, all of those problems. So ensure that you're using the most accurate one so that you have the most accurate next step. Use your operator, put in your text, and select that the option should be shown. Now what this does is, if I found if Crystal, there you go. So if someone comes in here, takes a survey and says Crystal, my logic is gonna start showing me the female option directly, because it's gonna come up, and essentially I'm tricking the system into auto populating female
Oh, so
because
you're looking
Crystal
for
came up.
keywords to auto
Exactly.
populate the next
There
question,
you go.
but
Keyword.
that's dependent on if making sure that your consumers or your respondents are actually using those keywords. It's
Absolutely.
like
So it's
it's like a high risk, high reward kind of
very high
thing.
risk, very high reward kind of a setup.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Wow. I
Awesome.
mean, that's like, that's pretty great though. I hope that Tawana, that answers your question. That, she's always coming at us with like the very complex things. And you know
Yeah.
that she's tried it like 5 other times.
I'm,
So
I'm pretty
she's
sure.
coming to us.
I'm pretty sure that's the reason why I immediately jumped in. I was like, that can't be as simple as the question sounds. But all right.
And you guys, you can always ask us questions live also, just in the comments menu or comments section, and we'll, dump them in here and highlight them and answer them. But if you can also submit questions on questionpro.com/office hours, just rolling. So we keep that page open all the time so that you can submit questions whenever you want, because we know that it's important to be active in participating in your questions. And for our free licenses, this is a great training option. I know I learned a ton from all of the office hours we've been doing. It's how I passed our certification. So let's go on to the next. What are some question types that are available in the advanced license but aren't available in essentials?
Okay. Awesome. So essentials, for those of you who are new to essentials and in advanced, is Question Pro. What we've done is, instead of just giving out free license that you cannot do a lot with, we've given out something that's called the Essentials, where you can collect up to 1,000 responses without having to pay us anything. It has the basic question types allowed, like your single selects, your multi selects, your open ended question texts. And it has your basic logic like skip, compound, delayed, etc. Like the most basic survey setup is something that you can do with Essentials without having to pay a nickel to us. Advanced is our very next license that comes immediately after the Essentials. It is
Nice.
targeted to a lot of operational surveys that you can do, or your very basic research surveys that don't need a lot of advanced type questions, but yet you would like to run, let's say, an NPS. That's available in the advanced license, but it is not available in the Essentials license. So when I say NPS, I mean your Net Promoter Score, your 7 scalars, 5 scalars, 3 scalars. You can use any of those configurations. You can use the matrix questions. Again,
Oh,
this is
wait, are
not
you
something.
screen sharing? Hold on. I
Oh,
forgot
I
to add
am.
it. I thought you were doing such a good. Okay, here we
Wait a
go.
minute. I was
Sorry.
going on pointing. Okay, all right. I'm going to reset. We're coming back. We're coming back again. So what's available in the advanced question is your Net Promoter Score right there, 10 scale, 7 scale, 5 scale. You can make that configurations, no problem at all. Uh, NPS it helps you understand satisfaction, customer experience. You can know more about it on the CX seminar that's coming up, hosted by Crystal pretty soon, and you can know what are the advantages of using this question type. But it's available on the advanced license. Along with this, a few other ones that are available are your matrix, which are not available on a free essentials license, but you can use these setups on the advanced question types. It really enhances, it helps break down your survey, or at least shrink your survey into a little bit more digestible size. So people are not clicking, your respondents are not clicking on the next button too often. They have everything on one screen, they're answering their question and moving along. These are the
Okay.
two standout questions that I would say are on the advanced license.
I love that. So while we're in here, um, can you chat with us a little bit then about, oh, let's see. Oh, multilingual surveys here. This is a good one. So this question was submitted and it says, my audience is spread across Africa and Europe. How do I change the language of my questionnaire? Do I need to translate the questions beforehand, or does it happen on the fly or automatically?
Okay. Trick. It's not a trick question, but
Oh,
I'll still answer it in both ways. So yes, it can translate automatically, if you will. If but I'll tell you how that can happen, right?
okay.
Specifically, if the survey is going to be happening in a very regional country or a very regional area where the language is you don't have multiple languages. Everyone is
Mhm.
either speaking like a very simple, straightforward. I'm trying to think of a language, but it's not coming up. But okay, so the two options that you can have is, once you have your entire survey written down in English, it's completely programmed. The logic is in there. Everything is in there. What you can do is go into languages. It's a menu option that's available on the breadcrumb. Uh, breadcrumb is the sub navigation. And there you see, you have the German language already added in here. And you can add in any
Hmm.
language that you
Oh,
need. Oh, we have a huge list of languages, and they keep.
that was like way more than I was anticipating. And I work here.
Oh, no, we have like a huge client. You'd be surprised at the number of multilingual surveys that happen, because at the end of the day, the objective of the survey is to get insights, right? You want to make sure that your respondent understands the question and can comfortably get that back to you. So
Right.
multi-language or multilingual surveys, I would say do it. Like even if you have like a shred of a doubt that should I not? If there's a doubt, do a multilingual. Don't debate about it.
Nice.
So go in here, add a language that you think you should have, but you're not too sure of. So just add in there. And we have dialects as well. So all of those is
Mhm.
in here. If you don't see a language in there, reach out to support, reach out to sales, reach out to your account manager, tell them the language that you want. And within a week, they should be able to get it on the platform.
There are languages on this list that I didn't know were languages.
Oh yeah, me too. Don't worry
That's
about
all.
it. There are some of the languages that I've added which I did not know were there, but I'm not going to speak about that right now. So all right. So you come in here, you add the
Mhm.
language. I'm not gonna add anything. I'm gonna leave German as it is.
Okay.
Once it's in here, you have two options that you can use. You can go into like an import translation section where we'll give you an Excel file. You can download it. You can manually type down the translations in this file and re-upload it, and your survey will be translated, right? The second option is
Ooh.
a manual translation, right? Where all your questions, your headers, your titles are going to be available on the screen. You can come in here and actually type them down directly, along with giving them style, your rich content editor, putting different images in case you want a different image to come up,
Mm.
on the
So this
languages.
would be great if you had a multilingual team and you didn't want to like run it through Google Translate or our translations or a translation service, and they could just come in and write it in a
Absolutely,
friendlier way, probably.
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
love that.
And absolutely, like, and this is all dependent on the factor that you have translational services available to you. If you don't, you don't have to Google them or don't have to fret about where you're going to get it from. Reach out to us. Uh, we do have tie-ups with a lot of translational services. We have a lot of in-house translational
Yeah.
teams available. We
I
do a lot
love
of
that.
platform translation. So yeah, we can help you out with that as well.
Adrian, how many languages do you speak?
4.
That's so cool. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I can speak, but I've been told that I have an accent in all of them. I don't think so, but I don't know. I get
Okay.
made fun of as well. So.
My only accent is country, and I work hard to cover it up. So moving on.
All right.
That's awesome. I love that. That is such a great thing to know also about our language services, our language translation, and the manual translation. So there's really like 3 ways that you can distribute across to multi regions and in their language. I love that.
Absolutely.
Um,
Before we
what do
move
you,
on, I want to give before we move on. Sorry, Crystal. Before we move on,
you're good.
I want to give like a huge tip because I've seen this mistake being done by the most seasoned of survey creators. If you're
Right?
going for a multilingual survey and you don't want to get services, I understand the fact that you don't want to get services. So a lot of us turn to Google Translate and we use that as a go-to. And while yes, Google is 80% or 85% accurate, I get that. If your survey is industry specific, try to go for a translational services
Mm-hmm.
because industry specific terms have to be translated very differently than your general terms. So that's just word uh, to anyone who wants to do industry specific surveys and then have them translated.
I like that because there is so many things that can be just like unique to your industry. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay. Well, I was going to ask you what your like top tip or trick was for languages, and you literally shared it before I could ask you.
Yeah, because
So,
it's something that happens. So yeah.
okay. So moving on, what do we got? Ooh, here we go. Advanced quota control. I want to limit responses for a specific option in real time. The option
Mhm.
may or may not be part of the listed answer options.
If it's not a part of the listed, okay, moving on. All right.
But actually, I have a secondary question to this. Can you show us how to limit responses on essentials and advanced? Like, can you show us the differences?
Yeah, I'll try because I'm using, like I said, my generic account. So I'll try. I'll
Oh,
try.
right. Because it's like we have all the options.
Exactly. I have like all the options, but I'll try. So essentially, the bigger difference between essential and advanced license is the advanced quota is not available on essentials. Like straight up, it's
Okay.
just not available. What you can do is you can limit the number of responses coming into your survey. So your general
There we go.
response quota, this is something that's going to be available to you in
Okay.
essentials, right?
Awesome.
Coming to advanced quotas, it is available in advanced license, but to a certain degree, where you can use the advanced quota control a little bit. You will have restrictions on using all of these.
Okay.
Definitely, right? But specifically to answer how to control quota on a question and the option that you're trying to get in, come to advanced quotas. I'm going to come back. So, advanced quotas, again, on the breadcrumb, click on add advanced quota, give it a title, give it your target count. And again, this count is flexible. Do not worry about the fact that you don't know what the count is, or if you want to increase the count later on, you can do that.
Okay.
It's not written in stone by any means. All right, so you give it a count. Now what you're going for is response to a survey question because we want to limit it in real time based on an option. So you select a question. I'm going to say I want to go for a 50-50 split to gender. So considering that I'm going for a 40 total response count, my target for the male population should be 20. Now, what I'm essentially doing is I'm limiting the number of male respondents completing the survey to 20 members only, right? And that would, so there you go. Oops, there you go. and you save it,
Interesting.
continue.
So you could do
And
a lot of advanced quotas based on what you're looking for specifically, not just your total audience.
absolutely, you can do a subsection, you can do a male audience below the age of 40, right? You'll have the age
With
question,
a
you'll have the
beard.
gender question. Exactly. You just combine them together in the same setup. In with the beard. The question should be there. If the question exists, the quota exists.
Okay, that's awesome. So that's a great way to also really kind of narrow down on your panel of people you're looking for too. I
Absolutely.
love that. Awesome. Great little takeaway, Adrian. That's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh man, there were a lot of questions this week. Should have looked at these ahead of time. Okay, so dropout. What is like something you want to talk about, Adrian? I know this is like advanced and like traditional survey is your jam here at QuestionPro, even though you're usually up in the research world with like Dan and Tim and team. I was like, wait, two Dans. But if you are talking to someone who, has a smaller budget, maybe they work at a small business and they're really looking to create a robust surveying system, advanced could do that for them. And so what are some of your tips and tricks for helping small businesses excel in their using advanced?
No, absolutely. I mean, advanced licenses is actually a very powerful license. The only thing that, I mean, I do interact with some of our clientele that's on the advanced license. The one thing that I would tell anyone who's going for this is have a clear objective. It's very important for you to know what your end goal is. And when I say the end goal, I'll give you two examples, right? Number one is I want my survey to be representative of the census. All right.
Right.
That's a very clear objective. It tells me a lot of things. When you reach out to support and tell them that this is what I want, it helps them understand exactly what you're looking for. So just that one statement tells me you want a gender question, you want an age question, you want an ethnicity question. And all of these questions need to be quota controlled using options. So the minute you tell me this, I can tell you exactly where you can go in the limitations of your license and how it can be done. And even if it can be done or it cannot be done, right? There's a
Love
lot of
that.
times where the second example that I'll give you is I have a list of options and I want randomly X number of options to come up.
Okay.
Now, is this something that you want from an experience standpoint, or is this an objective that will help you meet your end goal, right? That two different things. In the advanced question, randomization of options that to limiting them is not available. That's a research license. That's a team edition license. So we cannot show 8 options out of the listed 10 options or 11 options. That's something we cannot do. But if you can tell us why you want it, there's definitely going to be another way that you can achieve it. So for small budget surveys, it's possible to use the advanced license and meet your objective. That's completely doable, not necessarily in the way you've imagined it.
I love that. I feel like that's a lot of, I see that in marketing all the time where, people come and they're like, we need to pay thousands of dollars for this software because I want to do this thing. And I'm like, okay, but what's the thing you want to do? Because there's probably a way to do it differently than just buying the software to do it. Right. If you really put your brain to work, you'll be able to like come up with a creative way and maybe just gate it a little differently and go that way. I think that's why I love marketing and like I was attracted to working at QuestionPro for surveys is because there's not just one way to do something. There's literally hundreds of ways to get to your end destination. And that kind of like freedom of just like adventure makes me so excited.
Absolutely.
Surveys
Absolutely.
are very adventurous.
It is. And Word to the wise, anyone coming to Question Pro, right? The support team is highly trained. You cannot even imagine the amount of quizzes and mock questions. And I'm not. This is not even. It's not even. It's gone so far that our team, internal team, our front end technical support team, our front end account management team, they've actually come up to me and they'll be like, I've not studied in school as much as I need to study over here because things are changing constantly.
That's true.
If you want to get something done, understand the objective, come up to the team, tell them the objective. I'm pretty sure they'll find a way to get it done with you. And if you can't, they'll tell you. No one is going to leave you high and dry. Oh yeah, we're going to do it. We can do it. But no one's going to come back to you. That's not going to happen. If it does, you can reach out to me directly and then we can figure
Adrian's like, report to me.
it
Yeah, go to Adrian. Don't come to me. I'll just send you to Adrian. Okay,
yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
let's do a few more questions. We got some, since they are kind of simple this week, I think we should be able to, bounce through them pretty fast. Based on the respondent's answer, how do I hide or show a specific question option?
Oh,
I
I'm
think
gonna
I
come
know
back.
how to do this, which makes me
I just said
excited.
that, right? I just did that. And I'm sharing my screen again, Crystal. That's cue
Yeah.
point for you to bring my screen up.
I'm going.
It's pretty simple. We just spoke about it. We tried to think about what Twanda was thinking, and I gave you the answer to
Mhm.
that. But if you want to show or you want to hide options based on a prior selected answer, a text input that has come in, go into show and hide option, sorry, logic, and set up any number of criterias for one option. So it's not even that you need one criteria for one option. You can have five criterias and all of them are deciding whether a option should be shown or whether it should be hidden. You can have that done. So there's no limitation there as well.
I love that. So if I'm in the platform, Adrian, how did you get here? Just like go back.
Okay, I'm gonna go back. This is where I am. This is my workspace. I'm gonna come in here.
Great.
I wanna. Okay, gender is not a question that I would do show and hide for, but all right, cool. There you go. Subscriptions. Now, if you are under 18, it is given that you are not using some expensive subscriptions unless you're robbing from your parents or your elder siblings. So what I'm gonna do is come into Logic
Okay.
and
Inside the specific question.
exactly. Go to the specific question where you want to hide the options on. Come in right there.
Okay.
Use the drop down. Go in to show and hide options. You can decide what you want to do. Do you want the option to always remain shown by default, or you
Mm.
want it hidden by default and then shown based on a criteria? You can do that.
Okay.
Set up a criteria or use from an existing criteria that you've probably already created for another question. And then the last thing for you to do, so I'm going to use the termination one. And the last thing that you want to do is select the option that this is going to impact. And you can have multiple options also,
I
right?
gotcha.
That's about it.
Awesome.
And you're
And
set.
so you're also saying though that if you have existing show hide options from another question, it will come up in your options.
Yeah, the criteria that you've used would come up
Okay.
and then you can set it up. You can set up the
Cool.
logic.
I love that. And don't forget to hit save.
Oh,
Um
yeah, don't forget to hit it. Yes.
That's what I always like. Sometimes I forget which like softwares I'm using, which ones save automatically and which ones don't. And then I'm always like, oh no, what did I do?
Oh, that brings me to a very interesting point. For everyone, extra tip. There is a small little message that keeps coming up over here. Question Pro
Mm-hmm.
has some save change as you go kind of functionality, especially if you're working the workspace. Keep an eye out for this. Let's say you've made a change in a question and this is still saving. I would say wait, hold on, let it save, and then you go and make another change because you don't want your setup to be interrupted.
Yeah. That is a good tip, Adrian. Woo! I like it.
There you go.
Okay. On to the next. When respondents choose the other option, How do I
Mhm.
enable them to add more information in the comments section?
Oh, you don't have to do anything. We have an other option right here for you. Just
Okay.
use it. Just use it. It is gonna have a comment section come up automatically. It's not even so. Don't worry. I'll show you a preview of what happens. Is when I have when once I have the other option, I'll preview only the eight section. Yes, you can preview only the one question,
Ooh.
but and this is how the languages come in.
Right.
And I'm going to English.
Oh my gosh, this is such an aggressive colored survey.
It's
survey.
have you what it's so you have to listen to higher power. It's all about that. But all right, so there you go. The other question, the other option, sorry, select on it and look,
Oh,
it's
so then
going to be comment right there.
it's open text already.
Absolutely. It's not going to allow you to go in. See?
Okay, I have another question. Is this available on Essentials or is this just an advanced question?
No, it's available on all licenses.
Oh, that's great. Okay, see, some of these are like mixed up. I should have divided them between advanced and essentials.
So
Um,
the other text, the exclusive NA basic survey needs is something that we've given to the essential licenses as well.
I love that. I know we have so many. So when I joined, we moved was right when we were moving to Essentials and we upgraded
Yeah.
our licenses was when I joined QuestionPro. And so I always assume that all survey companies give like hundreds of question types on their free license. That is evidently not the case for those who didn't know. And so I just always assume that, question types for all free because it's like
Nope, it is not something that all survey companies do. QuestionPro is leading the pack in that.
I love it.
We
I mean,
really
I
do.
marketed at that, but I didn't actually know it was true until I really got into the industry and was like, "What do you mean you can't do that question on X competitor?" I won't. I won't say any names. I'm classy that way. Um, okay, so let's just we're gonna finish out with two questions then about just reporting and reminders. So let's say somebody sent a survey out 2 weeks ago, but only 40% of their list has responded.
Mhm.
How do you make sure to remind them to take your survey?
Okay, so I don't have a send as such, but essentially what you can do, and I'm going to talk and try to do it. I've not done it sometime. But all right, so when you have a survey that's sent out and you want to do a reminder, essentially the system, QuestionPro system does a lot of tracking when it comes to, and again, I want to specify for those of you who are going to be calling up your legal team, this is not intrusive tracking. It is only tracking of whether the survey has been completed. Has someone left it halfway? Did the survey even hit someone's inbox, etc.? So it would track that much only. It's not going to pull up any other information. The reason we're doing it is so that we allow uh, you as a survey administrator to have a little bit more control of when you do the reminder. So once you've done the general send out and it's come up, you have the send reminder option. It's an
Okay,
automatic reminder
you
option.
literally
Yes.
just like boop.
Yeah, you just click on it. You can make changes in how the invitation looks like. And now, the most important part is who does a reminder go to? It
Right.
goes to everyone who has not completed the survey or was not terminated when they were trying to attempt the survey. It's going to go
Oh,
to only
so
those.
if even if they started it halfway and left, then
Exactly.
they get a reminder, and the
Yes.
people who didn't even start it get a reminder. But
Yes.
if you have finished, you don't get a
You won't
reminder.
get it. Yeah. If you
Great.
finished, if you were terminated, you won't get a reminder. Now, this leads to, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are having questions. This leads to, oh, what happens to the people who left the survey halfway? Do they need to start over again? No, they don't need to start over again. The link that goes out to them keeps in mind where they've left off the last time. And if they use your reminder email to take the survey, it will take them to the exact point where they left off the previous attempt and will continue from there onwards.
Oh, that's great. That's also like a good thing to put in your reminder so people feel like they're not getting sucked into like I mean, hopefully they're not 20 minutes, but I've definitely taken some 20-minute surveys.
If ever you're forcing people to do a 20-minute reminder, please do incentivize them.
Yes. Please incentivize them using
Please.
communities by QuestionPro if you need to. No, I'm kidding.
You don't need to use communities. We have rewards in surveys. On completion, people would get
Ooh.
rewarded through Tango, Amazon, Starbucks, virtual visa, you name it, we have it. You can do it.
Into our normal survey platform.
Absolutely, our normal survey platform. People who complete the survey get rewarded.
I love that.
You can have a raffle as well.
I
Random number
love
of people getting
raffles. Sorry.
random number of people getting some reward after they've completed the survey.
That's cool. I love that. And so what are some what do you see often around just people forgetting to remind their customers to fill out the survey? Or can you, if you're programming it, can you schedule the reminder automatically?
Of course you can. So it's
I
pretty
literally was
common.
asking that, not knowing that button was down there.
I saw you. That's the reason I didn't move away, because I was like, this is gonna be my next tip. And so, okay, we discount the question as a tip, and then we'll do one separate question. All right. So
Okay.
yes, you can do schedule reminder. You can do that. A lot of people do. Now, what you can and what you cannot do, I want to keep the line very clear over here. You can schedule a reminder beforehand. You cannot schedule a schedule, if you know what I mean. So you cannot tell the system cannot do a reminder every week from the day it's sent out. It won't do that, but it will allow you to select a date and a time as per the time zone that your account is in. So this is a
Oh,
confusion
okay.
point. Now I'm in India. I'm following Indian Standard Time, but right now on my screen it shows Eastern Time because my Question Pro account is set up according to the Eastern time zone.
Gotcha.
All right. So you can do one reminder, you can have one schedule done for the reminder, and you need to be cognizant about coming back and scheduling the next reminder. So I
Mm-hmm.
would say put it up on your calendar and do it, but it's possible to schedule it.
I love that. At least schedule it once and then you just
Yes.
automate the schedule again. Perfect. Okay, that wasn't, you're right. That wasn't a question. That was a tip.
Yes.
And then let's just, so after you have sent out your reminders, let's just look at what it looks like you're reporting. How can you see who's who's responded, and what you can do with their information and share it?
Okay, there's a lot you can do with the
I
information.
know there is. I was like, this is, I should have had a more narrowed reporting question than just like, show us reporting.
There's a lot that you can do with now. I'm not going to go into the detailed responses over here because the 27 responses that you see are legit respondents who've taken this survey from all these countries. They're all Question Pro employees, very
Was
eager,
this for the
enthusiastic.
football? Was this for the football club thing that you guys are doing?
Oh no, this was not for the football club thing that we were doing. I mean, I told you, I'm a huge Coldplay fan. The album hit, and there was a concert that was gonna go, and I just wanted to see how everyone agrees to that particular concert and the ticket prices. So
Oh.
I sent it out to everyone, and I was like, if you had to travel to uh, the United States and attend this concert, would you pay this much money for that?
Ooh,
Right?
I like that.
But that was the survey
The
that I
first
ran.
question should have been, would you pay money to see Coldplay? But
No, so essentially, only the 27 people are the people who would pay any amount of money to go see Coldplay. All
I
right.
would have been terminated. I would have said no. um,
Okay, Crystal, we need to have that conversation. But
okay, sorry, moving on. So
all right.
this is the dashboard that you can see all your respondents in. And now, based on your survey license, it's, you still, even if you're on essentials, you get a dashboard.
Yeah, everyone, irrespective of the survey license, you get a dashboard. You get a general
Right.
summary of everything that's going on. Everything. Oh, there's weighing going on. But all right. topic for maybe October when but all right. So essentially, you get a summary view. You get to see a pie chart, which can be converted into any kind of chart that you want. It can be downloaded. It can be shared. Um, Report setting is subjective to the license type that you are in. Essentials don't have a lot of control on the settings that can happen during a report.
Okay,
Now, what are these settings? Are calculations, right? With the statistical calculations coming up, you cannot change the scales or you cannot change the model, etc. on essentials. But you can still do the summary view. You would get
right,
all of this information. It's downloadable as well. It's not that it's stuck up on QuestionPro and you need to start typing it down. No, you can download all of this data. You are the owner, so you can take it, no problem at
right.
all. As
And so,
long as
and you would take this to give confidence in who you're giving your statistics to.
exactly.
It's not, I always tell people that, I'm like, it's not like we don't make up statistics. We literally poll people.
Absolutely, we don't. We don't. Like, you
Uh,
can see this right here. I just did a random poll on the price of a ticket. So I do a lot of it. If any one of you are interested, hit me on LinkedIn. I'm going to add you to my special list of random surveys that I do to find
love
out stuff.
that.
Yep, absolutely. And wait, from that, was that the last question?
That was the last question.
But wait,
Uh,
Crystal, tell me something. From joining lists and from joining random survey sample sections, I know that Question Pro is has a panel. Something about it. Do you want to talk about it?
which panel? We have lots of panels.
We have
I was
a
like,
panel that was being promoted very recently. If
oh yeah, we have a
anyone's
new
interested,
cannabis panel.
there you go.
We have been doing a lot of research in the cannabis industry because it's growing to be a $25 billion market in the next 5 years legally in the US. It's the legal market value. And so we have been doing a lot of exclusive panels for bud tenders. And
Hmm.
this means the people who are recommending different flowers or drinks or edible gummies. I don't know what the businessy word for them is. And from behind the counter. And so we've really been focusing on that. And that's a great opportunity for anyone who needs to source a specific group of people. Obviously, Adrian was saying how he has like his like random, survey enthusiast, I would call them, who like to take
Yep.
surveys.
And I
But
do,
if
I
you
do, I do, I do give out gifts sometimes.
But there's a couple easier ways to do it than having to be friends with Adrian. You can contact us to chat about our audience panels. We have everything from pet owners to veterinarians to cannabis to instant answers, which is a Slack integration where you can do 300 people at any point in time based on like 5 very specific things you just do through Slack. Actually, how I picked my mattress that I bought was I surveyed Gen Pop in the United States about what kind of mattress they have and took, so if it's, you can do fun things like 70% of Americans believe in UFOs based off of a survey we did. Or, I know, isn't that fun? I did a tweet about it. And
Okay.
along with people, doing a lot of studies on work from home or office romances, even. So that was really interesting.
Oh yeah, I remember
Um,
that.
do you want to drop that link? You have the certification link up, don't you?
I
Uh,
have.
oh, perfect. Here, I'll share the screen. So, no, go back. If you guys want to become a QuestionPro oh, see what I did there? You can come and get certified for free till the end of August, I believe. Let me share my screen.
Yep.
And this certification program really is great. Just certification.questionpro.com. And you can do a research. This is kind of our basics and this is our advanced. I made it through the basics with little to no trouble. I have not attempted the expert one yet.
It's not that scary. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. So the Question Pro certification program is curated by a lot of people who, a lot of, like, we are the ones who are doing it on the
Created by
go.
Adrian. He's being modest. um, it is,
but
but it is something that Adrian and I work on together, along with our other research professionals. And we
yes,
would love for you guys to take it and give us feedback on it too, because we're always looking to improve it. And Adrian, I know Adrian's passed them with flying colors. I have to, it takes me a couple tries. But that
yes,
means I'm
I've done both of them twice already after the change. Oh, there's a change in course, by the way, that's recently happened. But the certification program is designed to stay current with all of the features that are in Question Pro. As you see, there are a lot of updates that are happening. So we will the certification keeps updating the questions, keeps it updating the course material. There are a lot of videos. There's no time limit in when you need to complete it, so you can take your own time, do a course, practice, take a quiz, and get certified and add it to your resume and get hired for knowing Question Pro, right? Because we
yeah,
have a lot of clients. So
it's
it's a
true.
good thing to do. Give us feedback, send a lot of feedback to Crystal. She is definitely looking after the marketing.
You can send it to Adrian. So now we're like in a competition. If anyone
Yes.
hasn't noticed, Adrian and I hang out a lot together on our Slacks and just like helping our customers. And so it's like we always feel lucky when someone gives us thoughtful feedback specifically. And so, take the time. We're always here, and we will be here again on. Let me look at my calendar. September 27th. So it'll either be Adrian and I or Kartik and I going through your submitted questions and live streaming across our platforms. And so, Adrian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. And thank
I'll
you
talk to
for,
you later.
I'll talk to you
Oh,
later
sorry,
too.
cut you off.
Yeah, I was like, oh, thank you for having me. I was like, I love the video though. I'll tell you, everyone, if everyone, thank you so much for your time. And if you love the effort that was gone into the initial opening, the video, the welcome into office hours, the branding, you need to give a huge shout out to Crystal because
Aw.
I did not even know that something like this was going to happen. I was like, okay, this is new.
It is new. We're trying to just like take office hours to the next level. So thanks for
Absolutely.
joining us, Adrian. I'll see you later.
Thanks a lot for having me. Enjoy, everyone.